you doing? I'm Patrick Tomany from Recycled Bicycle in New York City. We're here today to talk about pre-ride safety check. We're going to use what's called the ABC Quick Check, thanks to League of American Bicyclists. ABC Quick Check is a quick and efficient way to check over your bicycle, make sure all equipment is working properly. We're going to start with A. A is for air. Your tires want to be properly inflated. Every tire has its own pressure rating. It's going to be printed on the side of the tire. This particular tire is going to be in the 100 to 120 psi range. You do want to check your own tire to make sure, because like I said, every tire has its own pressure rating. Tires do lose pressure pretty quickly, so you want to make sure you pump your tires once or twice a week if you're riding regularly. If you haven't ridden in a while, you definitely want to check the pressure. Once we've properly inflated our tires, we're going to move on to B. B is for brakes. Brakes, obviously, are very important on the bicycle. If they're not working properly, how are you going to stop? So we start by squeezing our brake levers, both front and rear. You want to make sure that the brake levers don't come too close to the bar. Usually we say about a thumb's width from the bar or less. If they come too close to the handlebar, then in an emergency situation, when you grab that brake lever, it's going to hit the bar, you're going to run out of braking power. So in this case, brake levers pulling evenly. You want to make sure they also pull to the same amount, both the front and the rear. If they pull different amounts, then you might grab one harder than the other, and that might cause you to lose control of the bicycle. You also want to make sure that the wheels are spinning smoothly through the brakes. If the wheel is wobbling back and forth, what we call out of true, it's going to rub your brake pads. It's going to cause you to be less efficient. If this is the case, you want to take your bicycle into your local bike shop and have them straighten out that wheel for you. You also want to check out your brake pads. You want to make sure that they're not too worn. There is usually a wear line on your brake pad. And if that wear line has disappeared, then you need to get your brake pads replaced. In this case, they're the little ridges on the side of the brake pad. And once those disappear, it's definitely time to replace your pads. You also want to make sure that they're wearing evenly. If one brake pad is very worn, the other one looks like it's brand new, it means your brake is off center. And that means it's contacting one side of the wheel more than the other side. Moving on to C. C is for cranks, chain, and cassette. Cranks, what your pedals are attached to. You spin those pedals and that drives the bicycle. Attached to that is the chain. The chain gives you the power, connects the crank to the cassette to give you power to move the bicycle forward. Cassette is going to be the set of cogs, set of gears back here. On some bicycles it's also called the freewheel. Now in every case we want to make sure that all these pieces are in good working order. They're properly cleaned, they're properly cared for. In the case of the chain, we want to make sure it's properly lubed, it's clean, it's spinning smoothly. There are no tight links. Tight links, you'll notice, they'll jump as they go through the pulleys and the rear derailleur back here. In this case, it's spinning smoothly, so there's no tight links. In the case of the crank, we want to make sure that these rings are both straight. Sometimes you have 1, 2, or 3 rings up front. In any case, you want to make sure they're all straight, none of the teeth are missing, none of the teeth are bent. You also want to make sure your chain ring bolts here are all tight, and your crank bolts are tight. If you grab your crank arms, wiggle them side to side, you don't want to have any play. Back here with the cassette or freewheel, you want to make sure, again, that you're not missing any teeth. There's nothing stuck, like leaves or twigs, in between each gear. Okay, we have A, B, C. In every case, we're all good so far. Then we have quick. What does quick stand for? Quick stands for the quick release. In this case, on this bicycle, we have what's called a quick release skewer, and this is what keeps the wheel on the bicycle. It's set properly at the moment. To release it, we're going to just flip that lever out. The wheel doesn't immediately drop out, so we're going to spin it a couple times to loosen it up, open up our brake, the wheel pops right out. Now we don't want that to happen prematurely while we're riding. So, proper tension. I'm going to spin it a couple of times. If we just kind of flip it up real easy with our fingers, then as we're riding along, vibrations is going to cause that to open. So we want to make sure it's properly tensioned. It's tight, but not so tight that it's really hard to get on there. And again, reset your brake. That's your quick check. And then finally, just take the bike for a quick spin, make sure everything's running smoothly, test out your brakes, and then you're ready for a ride. Once again, I'm Patrick from Recycled Bicycle in New York City. Have fun riding.